Hi guys, I'm back up here with another message for the or daily motivational message for the collective. Remember, all messages are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest, as well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. DM me, we can get you set up, come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as drop a comment down below, let it hear from you guys and start the discussion. As well as it's gonna share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord, okay? So we got a channel message here to start out this message here. And we have 3 cards from the, I don't know what this is, Animal Oracle here to really clarify this message, okay? Remember, take what you need and leave the rest, okay? All right, so the channel message is repetition, okay? So what is repetition, right? Repetition is the action of repeating something that has already been done. I repeat, the action of repeating something that has already been done, okay? So this is that type of energy when it comes to greatness, when it comes to success, when it comes to really mastering something. It's going to require repetition. I was reading a book by David Goggins, right? I'm currently reading this book by David Goggins called Can't Hurt Me, right? This is that type of energy within the book. He was talking about it all depends about your reps. What reps are you doing, right? This is in so many words, kind of paraphrasing, right? So this is that type of energy. It's about the reps that you're doing, okay? So it's going to require you to master yourself or to get to where you're trying to go. It's going to require you to continually do things over and over and over and over again. Okay, so let's talk about your trigger points and things of that nature. It requires you to, even if you fold under pressure, right? This is that type of energy. You're back up at it again, right? This is that type of energy in these moments of time here. Using David Goggins, for example, he couldn't read, right? But he learned how to read. I believe, yes, he learned how to read at a 2nd grade level, right? Because of repetition, constantly, over and over and over again. He ended up, like, being able to read. But where I'm at, that's all I really know right now. But even with that, if you want to think about his whole walk, he ended up learning how to read, but it required a lot of repetition. It required a shit ton of reps, right, to get that fucking done, right? This is that type of energy in these moments in time, understanding that Rome wasn't built in a day or overnight. So it's going to require you to constantly be punching at that wall until that motherfucker falls down, right? So this is that type of energy. It's not going to happen once or twice. It might happen multiple times, right? This is that type of energy here. Understanding that you learn by doing here. We got wise folly, the coyote. Accept your folly and find the teachings in them. Right. This is that type of energy. How do you learn? You learn by doing, right? This is that type of energy. You're one step closer to the finished product when it comes to every, trial that you take, right? You got to understand, within an experiment, you have multiple trial runs within an experiment, right? When you actually perform an experiment, right? This is that type of energy. Each trial run within that experience gives you new data, right? Some new data about what you're here testing, right? This is that type of energy here in these moments, right? The more that you move forward, despite if you know what you're doing or not, right? You're going to gain more data on what you should and should not do, but it's going to require repetition, right? This is that type of energy. It's going to require multiple tests of this experiment, so you can gain more data, more knowledge about what you're doing, right? This is that type of energy in these moments in time here. Yeah, we got raccoon, resourcefulness. You have all the resources you need. Yeah, this is that type of energy when it comes to that routine or that experiment. It requires you to constantly test and test and test. You learn what you need. And the more that you do these tests, the more that you perform these tests on this experiment that you're doing called learning how to master oneself, right? You're going to gain the resources that you need based off what works and what don't, right? This is that type of energy. The more that you do, this works over here, so I'm going to keep that. This doesn't, I'm going to toss that out, right? This is that type of energy in these moments in time. But once again, it requires repetition. It requires doing more test runs. It requires doing more trial runs. It requires more tests, right? This is that type of energy to really learn how to master oneself, because you already know where you're going, right? This is that giraffe foresight. You are able to see what is in store for the future. Right. This is that type of energy. You already know where you're trying to go. But this is that type of energy trying to figure out how to get there, right? But once again, it's going to require action. It's going to require you to move, right? So when you move, despite if you're successful or not, right, it's going to require that repetition. It's going to require those tests to get to gain all the data that you need to even sort out the bullshit and sort out the bullshit between sort out between the bullshit and what's actually resourceful, right? This is that type of energy. What's going to help you get one step closer to where you're going, okay? To wrap this message up, okay? This message has to do with constantly putting your reps in, constantly literally punching at that wall until it comes down, constantly in training, kind of that wax on, wax off type of mentality, ideology, okay, to even get to where you gotta go, okay? It's going to require repetition. It's going to require work. It's going to require constant data collecting, right? And it goes back to what we've been talking about, that adjustment to your routine. When you start those adjustments that you're making within your routine, you're going to start to see those by what? Constant repetition, constantly doing things from your routine and constantly following that routine, right? And you're going to understand what works and what doesn't work, right? But it's going to require constantly doing it, right? This is that type of energy, okay? All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Remember, all messages are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest, as well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. DM me. We can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as drop a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys to start the discussion. As well as let's go share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord, okay? I want y'all to have a good day, and bye-bye.